whatsoever on your opinion as to whether or not you want to take them out and smash. Like, it's like, no, she's hot. I think I might want to see what happens with her. A woman, on the other hand, is like, what have you done with your life to deserve me? Well, what the fuck did you do with your life to deserve me?
She's like, I have pussy.
Is that, like, you know, I love that Patrice O'Neal skit where he's like, if you were driving home and you got in an accident, all of a sudden, ladies, you just lost your pussy. Lost your pussy in an accident. What would you have to bring to the table in your marriage after that? And, like, most of the women in the audience are like, mouth, hand, ass. He's like, so let me get this straight. None of y'all said, love my man more, do more to try to make him feel good or anything. None of y'all said anything like that. All you basically said is women are a list of options of holes.
Damn, man, he was a beast, man. That's awesome. I need to go rewatch all his shit.
It's very fucking true. It's like the same women that are listed on all these fucking major characteristics that they want to find in a man. Everything but height. Height is so fucking unfair. That's not something you can change. Period. Can't change height and dick size. You're stuck with that.
Yeah, totally.
That's like the two things you can't do nothing about. But, alright. So, like, they have all these extravagant things that they expect, but, like, they don't even, like, you ask them, what are they going to bring to, loyalty bullshit. Like, other stuff like that, and it's like, I mean, you showed up for this podcast with like, 80% of an outfit missing. Like, why is a guy going to believe that you're actually interested in loyalty just based off of looking at you alone? Because we are admitting that sexual attraction starts with looks. So yeah. I don't have any idea about whether or not you're loyal or anything at the beginning. That's not what's my concern. I'm looking to find that out. But they list the most ridiculous shit. I'd help him with designing the house, or I'd help him grow his business. Like, I don't know if you know this, but most men are smart enough to understand they don't need to involve their woman in the business.
It's like, you mean you help him grow his dick to bang you?
Yeah, but it's like, it's never about, well, I'd be a dedicated woman who was at home taking care of things and want to be part of his peace when he returns because he's taking care of me. I mean, he's doing all this for me, so I want to make sure that he knows I appreciate it. That's never said. Never fucking said whatsoever. It's all these fucking ridiculous things that a man doesn't care about. And, those podcasters are like looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, or my favorite one, what are you attracted to in a man? And they list all these shit like sensitivity, communication. No, you fucking don't.
Yeah, that's all fake shit. Well, just because women communicate different, that's why.
Someone who is usually high energy, extremely masculine, maybe even borderline toxic, half of the time it's a dude that's run through other chicks. So they have this weird thing in their head where they're like, I'll be the one that nails him down. No, you'll just be one of those chicks he runs through. It's like,
that's true.
That's the scenario that actually happens. He was like a bad boy. That's who I want to fuck.
Oh, and snap. Shit.
Then 2 days later, he broke my heart.
Oh. Look.
It's like,
oh, fuck. Hey, I need to take this call real quick. I'll call you right back.
No problem, brother.
Shit, awesome. Thank you. Oh, snap. What's going on, y'all? Happy hump day. Let's get these giant eyeballs off here as it's watching as we potentially are working our way back down to break that major supports over here, which we'll get into in just 1 second. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, the 17th of May? Yes, 2023 at about 10 in the a.m. It's Z-Rex, no noise, we're live. Let's get into some price action. I'm going to have to really fly through this one today. I got a jam-packed full day. And let's just go ahead and leave it at that and get it in. All right, so Mondays, we didn't get the best candle close for Monday on Mama Bear here. Kind of just went right up to the 55 and backed off. Not the sexiest price action. Was hoping the bulls had a little bit more strength to get at least, up into the closing up here in like the mid 27s. So that's a little bit weak sauce. And if we zoom down here on the time frames, let's see at the 458. Bears are attempting to reassert their dominance here. And if you're new to the channel, dominance, I use 26 as above that is kind of like the power zone, I call it, for DMI. Between 16 and 26 is neutral, and 10 and 16 is weak. And then below 10 is like the forgotten zone no one even cares about. In this case right here, bulls. A lot of times you do get swings from there. But anyway, we're not going into DMI school right now. One thing that is interesting is we got some good volume on today's candle. You can see here a little bit more than the last few that we've had. A couple little standouts here, one here, and a couple over here. But we are kind of getting rejection so far. This is not looking real great for the bulls, I must say. And as we were talking about Monday, we probably will get some resolution on the price action this week. I think definitely by the end of the month we'll be getting that. But right here, if we start closing, if this, let's see, what is this, 26.5-ish, kind of like this tail right here. If we close the body below kind of this cluster, that would actually look pretty nasty for the short term. And the micro for the bulls, and I would be looking for a test of this trend line down here, maybe somewhere between like 24 and 25.5 or something. We do have this tail right here that is sitting at about 25.7, so just above there. Kind of a little bit nasty price action. We do also have this trend line cross right here. Those generally do provide some really good supports, and we are just barely sitting atop it currently. Let's go to futures, barely sitting on the 55, just chilling. Let's go to the weekly. What does that look like? Probably not really that informative at this moment. No, well, technically it is, because there's a shit ton of support right here between 25.3 and 26. You've got all the EMAs, not all of them, obviously, but all the ones that I like to use within $600 of each other, or about 2.5% roughly. So, this is kind of the line in the sand for the bulls. Because as we discussed Monday and a couple other times, we don't want the weeklies to start getting open and closes below the 21. That's when I will switch my stance to this being kind of a false bullish move, and then we can go back in this range, and hell, who knows what happens. Maybe we stay in there for another year or whatever. Bitcoin does love to go sideways sometimes. So let's see. Timbo says, what time frames do I trade on? I like to trade mostly on higher time frames like daily and weeklies. I don't really like to go below that. I have other things going on and stuff, just general work and business I'm trying to get up and running. So I just don't, when you start getting below dailies, man, you start like looking at the charts too much and second guessing yourself and doing too much analysis, and you get that paralysis by analysis stuff. Now, if you want to do this like full time or something and sit at your computer, for the 6 to 8 hours while the major market session is open, which, I know people that do that and they do very well, then you can ratchet down to lower time frames, between probably, I'd say like a 1 hour and like an 8 hours, something like that. Depending exactly what you're doing. That's a pretty loaded question with a lot of different angles you can take it. But for me personally, I like to stay on the higher time frames. It's easier for me. I'm not trying to micro scalp stuff like that. And I've done that in the past, and it's just a little bit stressful because it flips all the time. And I'd say the reason it's stressful too is because you have to be able to flip quickly on lower time frames. And a lot of people can't handle that. It can go bearish and bullish, say on like a 3 hour or something like that. It can flip bearish and bullish, within a day or two, and you have to be able to switch sides that fast, or at least go to cash and admit that, you know, your plan is busted, whatever, wait for the next entry. So it's just a lot more psychological wear, if that makes sense. What's going on, EMC? To profit. Oh, I like that. Nice. Cool name. Nice vids. Yes, love the higher time frames. But what's the 850 about, fam? So you're from the 850? The 850 was I was working with a buddy of mine, and we just did some Fibonacci stuff, and I don't know, it just kind of came to about, I don't use that one actually anymore. I should probably just take it off of there. I do like the 458 still, which is roughly an 8 hour, if you don't have custom time frames. But they came from just like doing some crazy math about I guess probably 3 years ago now. And it was this strategy we ran for a little while, and it did pretty good. But as a lot of strategies do, it just kind of broke and stopped working, and so I just kind of scrapped that time frame. Now that you mention it, I probably should just take it off of there, because the less info, the better, really. All right, let's see. Back to price action. ETH. We've got this. What are we saying? Oh, same shit, different day on ETH. As long as it's above 1750s, it's okay. But again, a little bit pressure. We're kind of just camping below all these bodies. So not really that sexy for the bulls. I was really hoping that Monday's close would be better, and it was not. So we do have to warrant a little bit caution for the bullish side here. We're going to need some more time to digest this. Let's see. One more question. Do you trade with leverage? I do occasionally. And I'm not a huge hodl fan. I'll tell you, I've hodled through 2 different cycles in crypto. And one thing that's hard about hodling that I don't think that enough people talk about is that unless you're hodling from like years and years ago, I mean like many, many moons ago, like you're in Bitcoin from like back here, you know, 4K, 3K, even 5 or 6K, or really back in here. You know, hodling doesn't really work for most people, because by the time you get into the asset, let's say it's just Bitcoin, you know, most people didn't buy like over here, and definitely not anywhere over here. No one even cared about Bitcoin back here. Most people get sucked in the latter stages of the bull cycle. So if you buy up in here and you hodl, yeah, maybe you're in the money right here a little bit. It's good. You know, let's say you did buy over here and you're in the money pretty good. I do think it has its place, but I don't think it's just all your eggs in the hodl basket, if that makes sense. Because I'll say from personal experience, watching your portfolio go down 90%, I don't care how strong you think you are mentally, that shit weighs on you, man. And it's rough. And I've blown out many accounts, and I like hodling in certain situations. So for me, I flip to kind of hodl mode when the weekly is above, on Bitcoin specifically, when the weekly is above the 21. I don't need to ride all these down and lose 80% of my portfolio and take all that stress on. I just don't need to do that. And Bitcoin's in a different, I think, place now than it was before. I mean, now it's at $26,000. It's not like, are you going to hodl 26 grand, you know, one Bitcoin and hope that it works out? I just think it's more of a hopium strategy at this point overall, like how most people use it. You just buy and hold. That's just my opinion. I do get out when we start getting closes below the 21 EMA, which was back here. I actually have videos back here too of this early part of 22 saying I sold and got out of everything. And I almost got into a fight at a meetup one time. This dude was so mad. It was hilarious because I told him, I'm not bullish anymore. I was like, I think that was a false little double top, attempted false breakout or whatever. And it was pretty wild. But then that was the first time I actually did that. I rode that shit all the way down. And this one was absolutely shitty when you can watch many zeros on your account go to zero. I'll tell you that. And I also wrote it down all the way through on this. So, I mean, I guess in a sense I have hodled, but more by default because I was like, well, I'm not going to sell down here in the hole, you know. So, before I rant too long about that, that's kind of that. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, you're so right, EMC. They disappear when they're wrong, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if you go to my YouTube channel, I just started doing it on TradingView, just like the last, I don't know, maybe a year at this point, probably a little less. But on the YouTube channel, I think I've got videos going all the way back to 2017 or 18 or something like that, and I've got a couple gaps in there. Um, I had a kid in that point back then, and took a little break and some other things, but. Yeah, it is funny. But so in short, I like to hodl when the macro has flipped, and by that I use weekly 21 on Bitcoin specifically, and that'll be different for other assets because I do trade stocks and other stuff too. Since you look at macro, if we fail 24.8, do you see us retracing to 15? That's the best case scenario. I don't even want to mention the worst. Yeah, dude, I 100% agree with that. Man, so I do think if we started getting comfy back below, yeah, that 24,000 handle, testing back to 15 is probably a little bit of a deep retrace. I do think that the bulls could defend like around 20K, give or take a couple grand. But man, like that's starting to get real nasty though. That would break kind of the cycle too that Bitcoin's done a few times. And if y'all are newer here, I do have this, and this is posted too on my ideas page. I made this chart years ago, but it would break this macro cycle that we've been following to the freaking T like madmen. I don't have time to go into this today, but on another show, maybe on Friday's show, I can go into more detail about this. But yeah, man, like, so if we started doing that and lost, I would say even 18 again, that would look pretty nasty. And we might, you're right about that. I don't even want to talk about below those mid upper teen levels. That really opens the doors to, probably like 7 grand somewhere in there. And then ultimately the super mega low is like 3,400. But I do think that if we started even getting comfy below 10,000, man, like something's wrong with Bitcoin. So the Fed totally said it's illegal, or I don't know, something crazy would have to happen, I think, for that. Let's see. So I'm not looking at that as far as that scenario yet. We haven't broke 24,000. We're kind of just hovering above it. So let's just kind of hodl, if you will. Just kidding. Oh, thanks, EMC. Appreciate that. I love you guys too that tune in and hang out. You like my style? Thank you, sir, or ma'am, or whatever. Let's see. All right, let's get back to Litecoin, because Litecoin is actually saying suck it. Bitcoin, Ethereum, lollygagging. They're being little bitches right now. But Litecoin, Charlie Lee is saying, oh yeah, let's go, baby. So on Monday's stream, we actually were saying, oh, let's get some pump. Not we're going to. Sorry, I don't want to sound like, oh, that's what I get. I always know where price is going. No, I don't know shit, dude. I'm just some dude on the interwebs. But I like to just listen to what price is telling me. And right here on that close on Monday looked really good, and we did end up getting follow through back into the box. So this actually looks, I don't know how Litecoin is looking way more better than Bitcoin and Ethereum as far as a getting back into like a bullish stance. We're coming back over the trend line, back into this blue box, consolidation box. And if this candle closes up here, I know there's 8.5 hours left, but if this candle closes up here like this, that would be 3 white soldiers pattern, and that's actually a pretty damn bullish pattern, and I would look for some continuation to the upside as long as we're above about 87 bucks. And obviously the top end of this range is that $100 just round number that Litecoin has struggled to get over pretty much over the last actually this whole entire year. So man, if we do at least 1, 2 open and closes above 100, it's party time, boys and girls. Let's see here. Oh, I missed you study EMAs. Yes, I like EMAs. I like the 21 and 55. They're Fibonacci ones, so I use that. Well, is that a 13,525? Man. Oh, and also Timbo, sorry I didn't follow up with you on that leverage question. I do trade leverage. every once in a while, but I wait for kind of macros to change. And then I max it out at 3 to 1. I do not go over, and that's high to me. Usually I just do 2 to 1, but I will go 3 to 1 if I'm feeling pretty good on conviction. I did some 3 to 1 trades on the weekly when we were consolidating right here above the weekly 21. I did some 3 to 1s, but other than that, man, leverage will kill you. If you ever notice on when they advertise leverage, they're like, "Oh, maximize your profits." Get more profits, but they why don't they ever add losses on that part? Because that's a two-way street, man. And I will tell you, I've blown out more accounts trading on leverage than I've probably done anything else with options and also futures, and especially crypto futures, like back in the day, before Deribit banned all the American people. Man, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, you can trade 50x, dude. I'm not financial advice. I'm an idiot, whatever. But dude, do not do that. Do not trade crazy leverage like that. It is so dangerous, and it's pretty much guaranteed to make you lose money. So that's just my food for thought on leverage. It has its place, but you just don't want to get too crazy with it because it can really bite you in your ass. But back to Litecoin, nice in the mid 80s. Above that, looks good. Check my private invite script. Sent you some of my work, fam. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Thanks for sharing, EMC. Maybe we can share some on the stream here at some point. Like I said, I don't really have time today. I actually gonna have to sign off here really soon. I got a meeting here in about 30 minutes, and it takes me 20 minutes to get there. So I'm trying to fly through this real quick. Ethereum Classic. All these are going to be pretty much the same. XRP is trying to do a little pumpage off the 200. I'm not going to go into major details. It's going to be about the same as Monday's video, just kind of consolidating here. We are getting some more vol flashes on the historical volatility up here, so big moves are coming, y'all. You'll know I've been talking about this consolidation. This shit is going to pop or drop real hard. And that's just not crypto. That's actually across everything. That's even over in normie land, too. So Dot's just lollygagging down here. I mean, look at all this lollygagging. Blah, 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 blah. Just no follow through, just more blah. Everything is just literally the exact same price as it was on Monday. So that's fun, isn't it? Unless it's Litecoin, apparently. Man, even Doge getting rejected today. What is that pump from? Let's go. Since I kind of have to leave a little bit earlier, I might do a stream later this evening to kind of do a little catch up or follow through. I don't know, whatever the word we want to use for that. Oh, look at that. Finding beautiful support off 420. You already know meme power. Same shit, though. Just sideways. Hex dumping more. I guess no one cares. Hex is going to go away, and it's moving to Pulse Chain, so that's not, I guess, that big of a surprise. I mean, maybe it is a little bit. 50% is pretty hardcore. Richard Hart, what the hell, bro? V-Chain, sideways, boring. Let's go to traditionals real quick, and then I got to sign off. Oh, look, they're sideways still, so there's not really anything to add. God damn, dude. Well, I will say this is one of the longest I've seen traditionals inside the magenta candle. That's just a little trend algo that I have on the candles here. And on majors, I barely ever see this. This is so rare. And look at this stance too on DMI. This is uber rare when they're both moving at the same clip. I mean, dude, the moves from this. What is going to be the catalyst? For me, it's either going to be like the Fed's done raising rates and we're backing off. It's going to be great. We're going to start tapering. Or it's like another bank fails and it's going to be a bigger one that people actually care about, not all these little one-off stupid banks that like nobody really knows the name of. That pretty much seems like the scenario that's laid out right now. Hex is Pulse Chain. Yes, sir. Yeah, I heard about him in 2021. It's been so slow. Yes, it has. But man, those people got paid good, dude. Hex was the best performing asset last cycle. It did 750,000% gains. I feel stupid for missing that one because no one likes Richard Hart really, and just like Ripple, everyone hates Ripple, but Ripple did one of the best performances back in 2017 and that run prior to this recent one. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, major run up on Hex Coin there. But yeah, it's lost most of it. Richard Hart isn't terrible. I know a lot of people hate him, but whatever. I don't like to put too much hate out there to people. That takes too much energy, man. I ain't got time for that. Spread love, man. Yeah, bro. Here we go, selling off more. Look at this. Dow Jones is coming to test the 200. Watch out. Below this 32.8. Uh-oh. This is the only one that's not really consolidating and kind of on the short term. On the macro, it is consolidating for sure. But on the shorter term, it's actually getting some lower lows, lower highs. So that's interesting. Rut getting defended. I mean, how many times can it bounce off 1740, y'all? This is like 1,000 times at this point. It cannot break down. I don't know what's going on. This is just super crazy consolidation, man. You can see it on all the oscillators too. I mean, look at this RSI. When was the last time you seen RSI be 47 for freaking 2 months in a row on an indice? Very rare. Maybe like 2017 on record low VIXs or something. I don't know. This is kind of wild price here. Even going back, maybe a little cluster there. Oh, this cluster right here. I remember that. That was brutal. The sideways is F mode. Yeah, but just, I mean, above 1740, it's fine. Below 1800, it's just neutral as hell until it breaks one of those sides. Same with DAX. As long as it's above 15.8 and below like 16, it's just range bound. VIX doing the same thing. Kind of backing off a little bit, but just consolidating. VVIX kind of just hanging out right underneath the 100. Still looks a little bit bullish on volatility. I know that's kind of confusing. Trying to get a little bit of bump in here on oil. Looks decent. Nat gas. Yeah, still trying to struggle. Man, so boring, man. This price action. Oh, here's an update. This one actually is worth talking about real quick, and I got to go. But below 2,000, man, this is kind of shitty for precious metals. Gold, what the hell are you doing? Do not break 2K. We don't want that to happen. It does have a little incremental support right here at around like 1980. So, I mean, if you want to ratchet down to that as your support, that's okay. But, man, below 2,000, that nice round hole number kind of sucks. Indecision, sell off, and here we are starting to build a little bit of bearish momentum here. And that also is true with silver. We're back below the mean power number of 2420. Kind of sucks they didn't get any follow through. I guess the one thing you could look at this as a good thing is that, hey, maybe we are going to back off of rates or something. And, you know, the risk, like no one wants the insurance anymore that they usually like to seek in precious metals. So, hey, because we probably will need traditional markets to rally hard to get the bull market and crypto going again. So, all right, I think that's it for today. We'll just follow up. EMC says VIX is used hard in options. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. What's the VIX need to be for bullish or bearish? Man, I don't think you can really use VIX just for bullish or bearish. Definitely can use it in options 100% because you're selling premium or buying it sometimes. I traditionally like to sell it. He said that brings us down to 14, 16 if we break below. That would be a head and shoulders trap for the cap bounce. Yeah, I could definitely see that. So for me, if we use the VIX for that, I don't really like to use VIX for bullish or bearishness because it's just too funky and it's kind of broken right now. But as long as it's kind of like staying sub 20, I mean, that's not really bearish. You know, it's got to get comfy above 20, above this trend line that's actually been respected all the way back to 2017 when we had the most slow VIX year ever. So, yeah, as long as it's kind of just barely riding this trend line, I mean, and below 20, yeah, it's whatever. I just like to use the asset I'm trading to make decisions mostly. So, anyway, guys, I got to take off, man. Much love. I really appreciate y'all being here. I might do a little follow-up video later. Until then, I hope you have an awesome hump day. Appreciate all the text in there. EMC, Timbo. Love that. Love the comments. I'll see y'all on Friday, maybe possibly later tonight when I get home. But definitely for sure on Friday morning. You have a wonderful day as well, EMC, and I'll see y'all next time. This has been Z-Rex with No Noise, signing out. Peace.